Hello everyone, welcome back. We are on Lone Oak Farms, Farming Simulator 2017 version, and we're in the middle of harvest. We are actually just 2 windrows away from being done with this field here, 2 and a smidge. So we're continuing on the harvest. It looks like I should possibly borrow a little bit of money to get... Oh, wait a minute, you know what? Isn't going to let me borrow. I think I am max in debt that it's going to allow me to do. So, hmm, yeah, I'm going to have some work to do to climb out of the hole. While we're down here on this end, by the way, I was just thinking about this before this episode was doing it. This particular area here, I happen to have some pictures. And so I thought I would just hop out and show those to you as we look at the map kind of from different angles and see what it kind of looks like in real life. Just give me just a second while he's harvesting. We'll let him keep going. Here's kind of in the map. The combine would have just taken off over here. This is kind of over here, kind of in this area of the map where this building is here, looking to the north, in this case, of Lone Oak Farms along this edge of the field. Here's what it looks like in real life. The buildings and everything would be just behind us and to the left. And I kind of took this special trip one time at the request of Bullet Bill. There was something down in the field over here that he wanted me to look at, wanting to know what kind of an object it was. I may have described it on another video. But basically, there is a fence in here. This is kind of winter time. I'm not sure when I took this picture exactly. It appears, if it's spring, it's very early spring. It is a nice day, which seems like it would be pretty rare to happen in winter, but occasionally we'll get a beautiful day like this. So as he was building the map, there was a question to answer, so I came out. So that's kind of this area here. So what I did is I walked to the north, and I think the next picture that we have, maybe will be about down here. There's an old truck here. I'm not sure if I showed a picture of that. Ah, yeah, there we did. So here's kind of looking north. Here's a little bit northeast, looking into the trees. There's this old truck, flatbed. Oh, I almost think it was a... I remember the truck being used kind of around the time period that I was no longer working up there. I think they picked up an old beater somewhere and they hauled some things with it. I don't think they use it anymore. May still be sitting there for all I know. They kind of just parked it out here and haven't moved it since. I almost think it was a Schlitz beer truck or something. I could be mistaken. It'll be interesting to know the history of every machine. If you could see what all it's been used for, where it's been, it'd be some interesting history to know. So they used it for a few years, and then, like every farm, they have it kind of in a boneyard. Although, actually, right here, it still looks drivable. I mean, even the tires all have air in them, so who knows? Maybe I'm all wet. Maybe they just had it parked there for a while. But it was an old beast. Here now, I'm at the other end of this particular field, and actually, you can see the cattle that they had in here at the time. There's a fence in here. I don't think the fence made it to the map. Don't see a fence along there, but basically now, from where that picture is taken, we are down here looking back at the farm, and we notice the scale difference. I mean, it's when you look at this picture, it's a lot further down there in real life than it is in the map. And the buildings aren't to scale, as I recall, but the land underlying it is maybe a third scale, something like that. I don't recall exactly. So continuing on, kind of a different angle, that's looking at the fence, that's kind of facing southeast. And the pond, by the way, is through these trees, about over here, if you will. That's kind of the fence post. And so in the map, that would be kind of looking over this way, kind of at this property over here. And I'm glad Bullet Bill chose to put some youngish trees in here. He uh, he also put some dead ones in here, which maybe was a nod to some of the logging that took place. The neighbor that owned the property, for whatever reason, decided to log the hillside off. So when we look at it here, it's just a bunch of stumps, and they basically clear cut it. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, this is a neighboring field, and you can see there's no trees in here. They just totally denuded it of trees. Um, I think they have since replanted it. I'm not real sure. But like I say, I'm glad Ola Bill chose to put trees on it. I think it looks a whole lot better and looks kind of the way I remember it over the years. Oh, that's one of those moving pictures. I didn't know I had one of those. This is the dike looking south. The lone oak tree you can barely see up here in the picture. The pond is here. I've now walked down over the hill, if you will. So in the man, why was so hard to find my here we go. That's coming down the hill over here, and I'm standing probably right about here, if you will, right down the hill through the logged area and looking towards the pond. That's where that is. I think that's the same one. Yeah, I'm a horrible photographer. I don't know what I'm doing, so the light will throw me. This is looking due east from that point, and again in the map we don't have a fence along there. What we do have is a berm of dirt, which I guess kind of acts as a fence, if you will. But in real life, there's a fence along here because they do periodically. Yeah, here's one end of the fence. They do periodically graze it in here, and this is all traditionally pasture and hayfield for Lone Oak Farms. This isn't Lone Oak property up here. This is a northern edge of the farm. Property goes up into here and then squares off south. So this was the neighbor's property, but I was kind of walking on it to go down and check out something specifically right down here. So let's go back to our combine and make sure it's, oh, I tell you, about when you trust course play, it lets you down. And you know, we're almost done. Is that going to be close enough to... Yeah, I don't know. Let me see here. I just as well wait and get him going in the next field. You know what? He's going to come back the whole distance, only I don't see any windrow at all there for him to pick it up. So must be a calculation methodology that is less than a pixel by Courseplay or something. So I'll tell you what, we're going to get to the end of this windrow and I'm going to take him to the next field. Maybe what I'll do is, when he's at the end here, I'm going to stop him. I will request a driver. Let's see if, oh yeah, here he comes. I'll get him offloaded. Very good. Now I think I can send it home. Yeah, he will disappear, so I'm going to pull him off of this course. And we're going to move him to another field. And at least turn him off. Now in real life, maybe not on the farm per se, because we're moving to another close field. But maybe we even did it here. In real life, what we would do before moving to another field well, let me just do it here real quick. We would stop the machine. We would come out to the back here, and the back axle would typically be full of all kinds of chaff and seeds and whatever the combine had picked up, from the cleaning shoe underneath the combine as it burped out. So what we would typically do is blow it off, or if we didn't have an air compressor, we would just use our bare hands to kind of run over the metalwork and try to get all the material off the axle and everything that we could before moving into another field. And I think this was done to prevent the moving of weeds and corruption but from one field to another. A lot of times the stuff coming out in the chaff could hold weeds and that kind of thing. And if you drive down the road, you'll be spreading it all over the neighborhood. So kind of as a courtesy to everybody else and for the sake of my grandfather's fields, we would just clean it off and try to keep from, taking the bad stuff field to field. But over here, we're going to have a new course. I'll just get him loaded while we are headed up there. I think it's field 44. I'll get it loaded. And it's not even 8:30 and we are ready to roll in another field. Just coming in, I think this will take it. So we're making marvelous time, which is a good thing. I'm going to set him going. There we go. And now to go get our tractor, we're going to have to reset up. And I'm not real wild about this course. I don't know about you all. I'm so not wild about it. I think I am going to trash can it and get rid of it. We'll just redo it. It's not that hard when we do this field again sometime. So now this course, again, we want to, not sure where the best area is. I kind of like it up here if we can, kind of right on this corner. The thing with horseplay you want to do, like if we set up the course right here and the combine calls us from over there, horseplay would get you to try to drive straight through the house. So to avoid that, that's kind of why we're setting it up more over here so that it can see every square inch of the field. And that may be enough room. I'm gonna set it up there, and we'll do kind of like we did before. This time we'll head out of the field this way and take it over to where we know we can store our seed. Cash is negative right now. I need to sell something, and I guess I could sell the grass seed, but I want to get harvesting done first, so be patient with me. I'll be negative for just a little while, so I think I went through the trigger there. I don't know what's the right way to do this. I'll sneak back around this side of the building. Oh, now we're in autosave. I think that's all it is. And we'll head back out to the field. That's another area that fascinates me about this game, the different playing styles. I know there are some people who won't touch horseplay with a 10-foot pole. They prefer to do all their own work themselves. And here we'll just stop the app, we'll save it. It's 44 combi. Now we've got it saved. I think we're still on, yep. Alright, I'll go get him. And he's going to head straight off across the field like a good feller, driving all over our windrows. We would never ever do this in real life. If I would have done this in real life, it's it would be the equivalent of driving in the middle of the unharvested wheat and smashing all the crop down. Everywhere these tires are hitting those windrows, it'd be taking seed out of them, it'd be threshing it under the tires, if you will, and it'd be dropping to the ground. And once it's on the ground, it's virtually impossible to get at, because the combine obviously needs to pick it up in the windrow. But such are the niceties of courseplay that we need to put up with a bit. There we go. So hopefully here it will behave itself. We'll let it go a little bit here. We'll return to our pictures that we were looking at, assuming it's still up. Yeah, so this is looking down the fence line due east. This is a field below the pond, kind of continue what we were doing here. Looking back towards the cattle, this would be looking southwest, kind of back up the hill, if you will. I think at the time they had a lane down through here. Maybe they had a lane. Let me go back. Aha. They had a lane that came all the way down here, and I wonder if it went to this far section. I almost think it did. And I may have described that wrong previously. For some reason, I thought the lane came through on the south end, but maybe it always came through the north end. And maybe it's been both over the years. What do I know? But I think the cattle, yeah, this is a way they get up top of the barn and they're able to come down here and get to the pasture kind of on the far side. You'll notice too that there was a significant amount of logging done on the hill over here. They took the fir trees primarily. It doesn't appear they took any of the deciduous trees. They left those standing. There's still some fir up here. And the last time I was up there was even more firs taken out. So where the hillside looks very barren now, um, versus how it appeared, back in the day when I was there. This used to be prime hunting ground in here. A lot of deer would live in there. Don't know that there's many living in there now that they've, cut a lot of trees and harvested the timber. But give it a few years, a decade or two, and it'll look similar to how it did in the past. This is looking due south. There's the pond. Here's the lone oak tree up there. We're harvesting in game kind of over here on the far field there. We don't own these fields down here at the moment. Maybe at some point we will. Another picture of the fence line. Now turning more north. And I believe in game this field and this little nook right here are combined as one. In real life, I think what this is a property line because everything basically is sold on a square. So you still have a funny shape as a field. It's just in game, I think these two were merged. Whereas in real life, I think this property went with this property over here, which is probably why we had a little uh, uh, bridge, if you will, not a bridge, kind of a culvert set up that Bullet Bill wanted me to go look at. So that's kind of looking down over the field, just looking up at where the logging happened. Looks hideous from where all those trees were removed. But like I say, give it a little time and it'll look better again. I don't know if I was being lazy delaying my walk. Must have been somewhat late in the day. It seems like the sun is starting to obliterate what can be seen. So I think I started hiking. This is looking back towards, I guess the pond would be up here. Lone oak tree is going to be hidden. It's up on the hillside here. We would have walked down over here, and now we're coming kitty corner across the field, another grass seed field. We're just about to hit the sunlight. Now we're down in it. The stream that flows out of the pond continues on down through here, and Bullet Bill has that in the map, which I'm sure we've all seen. The stream comes down through here. I don't know that it's put in there, but you see the literal water of it down here. So it kind of, yeah, I think he starts it there. I don't think it's underground as it comes through here. It's just well protected and covered by briars and brush and all that sort of thing. So Right now we're kind of down in this area looking back. We can't even see the lone oak tree here, but that's kind of where we're at. Well, actually, this one here is looking across the river, if you will. So here's that little area that he wanted me to come see, which is this right here. And as it turns out, there's just a culvert under the air, probably an access point to go from this field to this little spot over here. Like I say, in the game, he joined these two fields so that it would be all one. Um, yeah, I think we're still in the F1 field. I don't know that I walk on the other side of it. Yeah, that's the hillside up there. And actually, that shows kind of why this area isn't farmed over here. It's miserable steep, so about the only thing you can put on it is timber. And so I assume if they haven't already, I haven't been over there in a little while, if they haven't replanted with little trees, it's gonna be, 'cause that's pretty well all that they can put on that slope. And looking back, it was a beautiful day. Took lots of pictures. There's a stream you walk over in real life. I guess it kind of looks similar to what Bullet Bill has here for the water, kind of in the stream. It's a running stream. There's a little culvert just like he has it. There may be even a little pond up here. I forget how that is in real life, or if I hiked up there. I can't remember if I did. Let's go check out our combine, which of course is misbehaving, or rather horseplay is. My goodness. I had $1 every time this happened. I'd be wealthy after it. And maybe we could be charitable and say that, and I don't mean to denigrate the guys that make horseplay at all. I'm just joking around, of course. I know how hard it is to write a script, having tried to write some of my own, and yeah, it just isn't perfect. But maybe we could be charitable and say they're trying to simulate the real life slowdowns and inefficiencies of inexperienced help. And for some of the shenanigans that hired help will pull. And I gotta say, back in the day, I didn't always do what I was supposed to do on the farm. I mean, I remember one time, and this happened in the harvest field. At the moment, I wasn't in a combine. I was in a pickup, I think, and I was screwing around with the CB radio. It was either that or I had the radio playing really loud, and maybe that was it. And I didn't hear some instructions given to me by one of my uncles. He was calling me on the CB radio, and I flat out didn't hear him, and obviously then didn't follow him, so I got a little chewed out later for not listening. But why I wasn't paying attention then, I don't know. So maybe that's what Courseplay is ultimately trying to simulate, that stuff happens on the job. What can you do about it? Alright, so he's full. Is that our first trailer from field 44? I almost think it is. Maybe I need to take oh, here we go, over the top of all those windrows. Let me look and see how much I have in storage. Oops. I've got to figure out how do I... Oh, yes, I'll run the scroll bar. Grass seed. Okay, 89,062 pounds? Liters? Whatever that is. Well, that's a fair amount. And, I look at the prices. I'm playing on hard mode, as I recall. So let's look at... You look at the prices for wheat, for canola. Soybeans is higher per 1,000 liters, if you will. I can't remember how I set up the pricing for grass in here. What I do know is that it traditionally is worth way more than wheat, so I know I wanted it above the price of wheat, but I don't know, I may have set it too high. But we'll see. It is what it is. And it works. The whole point isn't to have ultra realism, right? Yeah. Back to our pictures just briefly. So yeah, down in this area, looking around, I'm in the small little piece. And this, remember the road up here? This is Sunnyview Road. You can kind of see some massive boulders that are over here on the hill. This is also in the map. This is a northern end of the Lone Oak map, kind of up there. So we're kind of down on the gully. There's another shot of the kind of the river coming through here. I think, by the way, this is called Beaver Creek, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if there was a lot of beaver on here back in the day making their homes or whatever. I don't know that I've ever seen a beaver up in here, but that's the name of the creek coming off the pond, all originating kind of just below the lone oak tree, and then I believe eventually it flows into the Pudding River. And just kind of looking up through here, a lot of it must be winter because the trees don't have any leaves on them. Um, but like I say, I think they ended up cleaning the whole hillside off, so there's even less here. Shot kind of back south, and you all get the idea. And like I say again, I'm no photographer. This was just some of the shots that I took for Bullet Bill as he was preparing the map. Things that hopefully would be of use to him as boots on the ground for when he was making it in game. So let's go back to our humble little harvester. We can get there. Hey, alright, at least Courseplay didn't screw it up that time. Hey, you know, our wheat over there, I think that's wheat, isn't it? Isn't that what we planted over there? I think I would have put in wheat. Oh, but it still isn't ready. It's growing. Um, yeah, it's full fertilized. You'll see the fertilizer's knocked down on her grass. That's something interesting the Giants did. They always left, you only have to fertilize grass twice. I'm not sure why that is. Seems like in real life, grass took a whale of a lot of fertilization, so I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. But maybe it is certain parts of the world. That's all they do is twice. But yeah, our grain just isn't quite ready, so we looking at the forecast again here, we're we're gonna get this baled, I think, at some point, and then we're gonna have to sit out some rain. So it's probably gonna be the second day of fall that we're actually able to get out and combine and bale the wheat harvest. Oh, hey, there's our puppy. I don't know if we're able to hear him. Oh yeah, he sits down on his haunches. I think I may have mentioned it before. This was something I added to the map. There was an animated dog. Oh yeah, he barks at us. um, I think I found it on some other map and stole it out of there and just put it in here. And obviously, I'm not releasing my copy of the map. But just some of those things that I added. I think there should be an animated horse somewhere in the pen over here. I think I mentioned before, I've been up there the past couple weekends, and I think there are horses in there again. So it's very true to real life to have a horse running around in here. So I don't know where he is. Somewhere down in there. I know we've seen it before. But you know what's interesting? Just sitting here, we're not in a machine at the moment. You know, this is so typical of Harvest too. I noticed it when I was out roaming around in the fields for harvest, taking pictures. The machines are loud, noisy, boisterous, full of dust and all the life that seems to come with them, if you will. But then they're gone, and the fields are silent, and all you hear is the birds chirping. You hear the wind rustling around you. You see the grass move. You smell all the smells of nature, of the grass, of the residue pollen. I mean, just a smorgasbord. And it's just, I don't know about other people, where you go to find a place where you feel at peace. Maybe for any of us, it's in different places, but I gotta tell you, being able to go back out to the farm periodically and just stand there and do nothing. Absolutely nothing, but just enjoy the world as God made it and as men are, cropping it and using it. I don't know, it just does something to you inside, and at least it does for me. And it just anytime I have opportunity to go out there, it it it's just such a release from some of my other things. I guess especially men, and we all got something where we need to decompress. And for me, this is one of those things, being able to go visit the farm where I spent so much time and get to see my family, my uncles. I love them and what they tried to do for me and in helping me out there and providing a means for me to fund my college education with some good, honest, clean, hard work. And yeah, like I say, it's just a flood of memories to come back out here, whether there's machines or activity going on. It doesn't really make much difference to me. Oh, look at that combine over there. Oh, this is the thing. This is clip distances at work. You can see parts of the combine. You can't see all of the combine. And if you want to talk about clip distances, maybe that's something for a different video. But can't see the whole machine, so maybe I need to bump it up a little bit so you can at least see the whole combine in at a distance like this. Kind of like this sky. This isn't the one that came with the map. We have the Sky Swap mod in here, so every day we play, it's gonna give us a new sky, and ditto with night. It'll be a different nighttime sky too. So I kind of like this one. It actually shows the sun in it. It's maybe not perfect quality, but I love having the extra variety. Well, according to the clock, I've already wasted your time again for yet another half hour. So let me hop back into my machines here and see kind of where they're at. And I think it's about time to call her good on yet one more video. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate you stopping by. Take care until the next time, and bye-bye for now.